What's going on, yo? Welcome back to Potty Mouth Veteran. I haven't uploaded in a long time, in a while, man. I've been busy doing stuff. I'm in the park right now, chilling. If you're watching this on YouTube, what's up? If you're watching this, or if you're listening to this as a podcast, because I just take the audio from this, but as a podcast, then what's up? Also, man, and I'm enjoying a cigar at the park, man, because I got to do that. My kids are home. Start cooking once I get home. But want to discuss a few things. Just give you an update on my VA claim for sleep apnea and other claims that have just happened to kick in, and then also answer the question is why. It's a political question, but why do a lot of veterans, lean towards, at least in this election, lean towards Donald Trump or towards the Republican side? All right. Well, so let me answer that first, because that's what a lot of people have asked me through, different channels, DM or whatever. So the reason why a lot of veterans, of course, the loud cars want to pass by when I'm talking, little Honda Civics. They're not going very fast, but sound very loud. Um, so the reason why a lot of veterans, why we vote, or at least why, especially this election and 2016 and this one, why you see a lot of veterans leaning towards that way is this particular president, he's portraying, he shows, and he shows a lot of patriotism, which is what we are, patriots, right? He's always talking about the flag, about America. He's always talking about how much he loves the military, what he's doing for the military. So we take that to heart. We're patriots. Understand? Especially we're fresh out of war, you could say. You know what I'm saying? It's still fresh in our heads, in our minds. It's always going to stay there. But I've been in combat a couple times in uniform, in uniform, one, two, three, four times, and as a civilian in combat zone, also four times. I believe 3 or 4 times. I think 4 times. So, been there a lot, always, and when you're there, you got the life and death situation, that brotherhood, and we're all under that one flag. It doesn't matter your color, creed, race, sex, religion, doesn't matter. When we're all American, right? We're all American soldiers, Marines, airmen, seamen, Coast Guard, whatever. We're all under one. We all fall under one commander in chief, etc., etc. We argue with each other and we call each other names, but we do respect each other. So that's some of the factors. Now, there are some that, of course, lean towards the other side, whatever. I don't know too many. I'm not going to lie to you. There are some, I got like onesies and twosies. There are some that are right down the middle, like myself. But this particular election, I'm leaning more towards the right. I grew up, I'm a minority, so I grew up believing that I had to vote Democrat. Somebody in 2016 told me I had to vote Democrat. They told me I have to because I'm a minority. Those were the exact words. That kind of turned me off. I didn't rip his head off, but I wanted to, but I didn't because I'm, kosher. But they told me, yeah, you got to vote Democrat. I was like, that's kind of turning me off. So you can thank him for that. That's where my vote went. But that's one of the reasons. They're just the patriotism. We have a lot of discipline instilled in us. Yes, we get in trouble a lot. We do a lot of shit. We drink and all that shit. The veterans while we're in, but the discipline is part of the uniform, part of the job, part of the service. The discipline is a big thing. Yes, sergeant. No, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. All that. It's part of the uniform. So when we see this president, he's talking a lot about about discipline, which speaks to us a lot. We know there's issues, but we know there's ways to fix them. We've had our issues in the service, and we fix them, or we deal with them. We fix them. He's big on discipline when it comes to the law enforcement thing. It's people in uniform, so we kind of relate to that. A lot of the people, especially the minorities, that unfortunately that lean the other way, which it doesn't matter. A lot of them, to be honest with you, and I know a lot of them, uh, they lean towards that way because they feel like they have to, kind of like my story, but they kind of caved in. It's like, oh, well, I'm a minority. I have to be towards the other side, towards the left. I have to be against this guy, you know? They feel like they have to, yeah, when they really don't have to, but whatever. Some just do it because that's really what they believe. A lot do it because they don't want the hassle. There's a lot of people in the closet that are voting towards the right. There's a lot of, there really is a silent majority. I didn't believe that until I met a lot. You wouldn't believe the people in my job who I've met. Some patriots, a lot of minorities, people that you wouldn't believe that are voting, you know, for this president. If he wins, he wins. If he doesn't, he doesn't. But that's the way they're voting. That's the way they're looking. But that's probably the main reason why, you know, a lot of patriots, and he's big. He's always bigging up the military. You know, we hear him say always, you know, they're like, oh, he said this about the army. I don't, you know, no. He said, you know, he's always saying we're getting them new weapons. That's more gear and things like that. That's something we always complain about in the service. We always complain about, oh man, this gear, and then we get new gear and stuff like that. So he's saying, oh, giving money to the military, our veterans this, our veterans that. The VA is a lot better since he's been in. I'm gonna tell you right now, and I'm about to talk about the VA right now about my thing. So you know, so that's why a lot of veterans kind of, you know, go towards, and you know, a lot of people, again, are, you could say, closet Trumpers in the closet. I was like that for a while, and then I was like, I don't put it out like that, you know, because not that I care about losing any friends, because I'll be honest, I don't give a shit. Like if you want to talk to me because I voted a certain way, you know, you kick rocks. I really don't give a shit. Believe me, from the bottom of the lowest part of my body, I don't give a fuck. But that's just me, you know, and that's, you know, that's the mentality about you don't like it, you don't like it, you know what I mean? The same way, if somebody votes the other way, and if you're voting, for example, Republican, and you know this, one of your friends is voting Democrat, and you over here bad mouthing them and think that he's this and calling them all these names and shit, then then you're really not that person's friend. You know what I'm saying? They just have that view, whatever. I've got a few people left. There's some people who I know and friend of me. I didn't even realize it until like months later, because I don't talk to people like that. There's some people, there's some people who are very, very left that are still on my timeline. You know, and I post some stuff. You know, I just share stuff from TikTok about Trump and the right, whatever, and they're still on my timeline. They don't care. They don't. You know, those people are my real friends. You know what I mean? Those people don't care. You know what I'm saying? So also, but anyway, that's it. That's why. I think that's why. That's a big reason. Now, my VA situation. So, as you know, I did my CMP, and I think I did a video where I talked about, I think I put it up. I may have not. I haven't put up in a while. They clearly denied it. I spoke to my lawyer, and her assistant was like, hey, she's, you know, my lawyer, my VA attorney was upset because we had all this evidence and stuff, and the VA still denied it. Now, she called it. I said, oh, I think it went good. And she said, nah, this is how they always do it. You know, don't get your hopes up because they always deny it first, and then we got to keep finding them and showing them evidence, blah, blah, blah. Exactly what happened. They denied it. And so my lawyer went and she sent me all the paperwork. I thought she didn't do anything. That's why it's good to have a veterans lawyer or some kind of representation. And she went and she did. She wrote something, and she always sends me a copy. And she sent me a copy of what she sent. I was like, oh my God. It's like an OJ case, you know what I mean? So she sent me a copy. I was like, oh crap. So you got to keep fighting. You got to keep fighting. Don't get discouraged. Also, I've got some other claims because I've got more pain that is coming on my body. And I've learned that even years after you're done, you might think, oh, I'm done with my claim. Now, I'm not a lawyer, or I'm not a veterans lawyer, and I'm not any kind of professional. I'm just telling you from my experience. You might think that you're done with your claim, but you ain't done with your claim. You're not done. Because what happens is your disabilities can get worse. And what happens when one disability gets worse, it makes something else worse. So they service connect, or they connect whatever is happening to you to that particular disability. For example, my elbows, and I'm having trouble with certain things, elbows and stuff, bone pain and things, but I have a bad back. So I've got to work a certain way so I don't hurt my back, which is causing more strain on my other parts. And I have arthritis and things like that, all that, and it's hurting. You know what I mean? Your PTSD can lead to other things. Your lack of sleep can lead to other things, and lack of sleep because of your sleep apnea or because of your PTSD, the sleep apnea caused by PTSD. I mean, it's a lot of things that lead to each other. Know that is connected, because your things get worse and you're entitled to more, but you have to know how to go about it. You have to know how to get that service. You know what I'm saying? How to write that down. That's why you got to have an attorney. I got a good one. Um, I go through Morgan and Morgan, their VA department, and they've been great, man. They've been with me for like 4 or 5 years, I think. And every time anything VA, they handle it. They handle it, because it can get overwhelming, and you might give up, and you can't give up if you don't handle it right. So you got to be careful with that. You know what I mean? Enjoying a cigar over here, man. Also, there was an amendment. If any of you went to vote, which I hope you did, there's an amendment. It was amendment. I think that the sixth amendment. If you look at it, I don't know how. If you're a veteran, you would vote no. I don't know how anybody would vote no for it unless you didn't understand what it was. And it's just basically to be able for the spouse of a deceased veteran, like for example, if I die, that my wife can continue with the benefits that I already have. I'm not sure of the disability benefits as far as my disability payment, but like I have a VA loan. I'm thinking that is that, like, for example, like not just that, but there's other things, like my benefits that I had, she's still able to use them. Like, it's not like I die. Like, let's say I pass away, I get sick and I pass away, God forbid. And then now my wife gets left in the wind, you know what I mean? And she's been with me the whole time, you know? So that's, the spouse of the veteran maintains uh, certain entitlement. So I don't know exactly what it is, but I just saw VA, wife maintain entitlement. So of course I voted yes for that. That I'm gonna tell you I voted yes for, because I mean, you gotta be a dumbass to be like, you just gotta be completely ignorant. I read it, but I didn't, exactly what entitlements there is or what it is that it's talking about. I'm not sure. You know what I'm saying? But I voted yes for that one. You know what I'm saying? But um I think that was it, man. I think that was all I had. So why did we vote for? Well, why do a lot of us vote for Trump or lean to the right, at least for this election? Because I wasn't when I first joined. I joined during the Bush era when he first like when he just got elected. Like he just, I think when I went to basic, he was getting sworn in. You know what I mean? The junior Bush Junior. So I don't. I don't know. Um, under the Republicans, what I've noticed, I didn't know too much about politics before. I didn't really follow it like that. I'm following it now because it's so out there. It's everywhere now. Trump has made it where politics is out there. You got to see, like, people who didn't know now. They're learning, whether it's left or right. They're doing. A lot of people are kind of like looking at things, whatever. Some don't do their homework. They just go off of CNN, Fox News, but a lot of them are doing their homework. So I didn't know, but one thing I did notice was that we weren't complaining about as much stuff when there was a Republican president. You know what I mean? Like I was still in. I went from active duty to the guard when Obama got elected, but like uh, there wasn't as much support for the military as there was. I'm not a Bush fan at all, but uh, there wasn't as much support with a Democrat president as there is. And this is just from what I've heard and from what I've experienced when I was in. There wasn't much support from Democrat president like there was with a Republican president. I don't know if it's always like that. It might not be always like that. It might be always like that. I don't know. Uh, the Republicans, big military people, you know. I'm sure the Democrats are at some way, but they just have a different view of how the defense should be. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but that's the way it is. But that's all I got for y'all, man. That's all I got. I'm gonna try to upload more and come up with more content and things like that. I've just been really busy working overtime and all that good shit. So, uh, stay up, man. Keep subscribing. Keep liking. Subscribe. Keep following the podcast and all that good stuff. And as always, I will see you on the next smoke.